Figured out what we're gonna do today. We drove to IKEA yesterday and bought countertops. We're gonna do countertops. We should have put those 2x4s beforehand. Oh wow. Okay, normally your counter's not gonna be square, especially in a camp trailer. So you'd wanna lay this on here and then mark. Since I'm going from the ground up, I want everything to be square as I can. So I'm just gonna cut it square. But any kind of countertop is a lot better, especially with these vinyl tops. You just kind of lay them in place and then you can actually mark and cut them according to the weirdness in your walls or whatever you have going on. So that's kind of what we're doing now, is kind of laying on here, marking it to see how square everything is to begin with, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Mark everything out. I keep chewing on paper today. Kind of weird. Okay, now that we got everything measured out and marked out where we want it all to go, before you cut these laminated countertops, you need a tape where you're gonna cut, and then you actually flip it over and cut from the back side. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, tabletop magically flipped itself. That's where the camera is sitting, so yeah, you didn't get to see that, but it flipped itself. And we got it supported in 4 places with 2x4s, because you don't want it to bend like you normally would or whatever. It'll crack anyways, but you really don't want to do that in this situation because it'll snap the vinyl or crack it or pill it or something. Something bad would happen. All right, we're gonna set it up and cut.
Unless you wanted to.
Nope, you can't. I have faith in you. All right, okay, so when you're cutting something like this is 1.5 inches thick. You don't want to set your blade at 1.5 inches, right? So you want to make like 2 or 3 passes through your wood. That's just kind of a general rule for cutting wood because there's so much flex in blades. It definitely depends on the quality of your equipment, but like if you're in a situation where I am, where I just kind of have normal household woodworking tools, definitely make more than 1 pass to get your good cut.
Yeah, that smells horrible.
I ruined that blade. I hit nails with it or something. I ruined that blade cutting through nails. But I don't feel like going to the big box store to get a blade right now, so we're gonna plow through this and just see how shitty it turns out. How crappy it turns out. That's funny.
My eyes are watering.
Very literally set the smoke alarms off in the house. I'm gonna go deal with that. Okay, yesterday after we almost burned down the house, smoke alarms were going off and everything. I had to go buy a new blade. And when I got back, I just went back to work and I really just honestly forgot to film. So what we did is we ended up getting both these countertops on. That one's all leveled out and planed out and everything, but I wanted to show you this one, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but you can see this gap right here. Maybe a little bit better from this angle. Yeah, there you go. You can see the gap. Right? So the okay. Well, lighting's really bad there. All right. A little bit better. So the problem is that, you know, the wood I'm using is warped and stuff like that. So there's a crossbar about midway through that's going up. And the way that I saw what's going on there, or what the problem was I put a bright light on the back side of it. It doesn't show up on camera. But I put my little work light on the back side of it, and then I look through the gap and I can see where it's hitting. So now what I'm going to do, you could sand it down or whatever you want, but a hand planer is probably quickest and easiest, especially in this situation because it's quite a bit. I think it's like an 1/8 inch. So I'm going to set up, pull this countertop off, kind of mark out where it's catching using that light that's shining this way so I can see where it's at. And then I'll plane off in those areas and put my level on it or a straight edge on it until it stops rocking. And then put the countertop back on and see if there's any other spots. So that's what we're going to do. I almost just tipped over the camera turning it on. I'm not very bright. Okay, planing's done. Bye-bye. Well, you can't see me. Ta-da. All right, that didn't take long. There's still a couple of spots where I have a little bit of gaps, right? So I'll just put glue on some wood shims and kind of slide those in there. And the reason I use a hand planer instead of sander, one, I think it's faster, but this is a lot easier to clean up than sawdust, especially in a small garage. Man, I'm not any prettier, but it's cleaner anyways. So I'm just going to use L brackets to attach the counter to the framing. For now, I'm just going to hit in a couple of spots because if anything weird's going on and I need to move things or shift things around or pull it up for any reason, I don't want to have to undo the whole thing, and I can do that once the walls are up anyways. So it's just going to kind of get temporaried on for the time being with these jobbies. But I think that's it for the countertops for now. Yeah, we'll get back to them when more stuff goes on. But for now, we're done.